Hi, it's Scott from Replique, and today we're here with Ben, and we are going to be talking about his scalp micropigmentation and what it's been like after 12 months. You came here just over 12 months ago, and you came in for a consultation first of all.
Yeah.
You were actually interested in getting a hairpiece.
I wanted to do a hairpiece because I kind of thought I love Bert Newton, and Bert Newton would do the hairpiece, and I kind of thought I had the sort of personality that I could carry a hairpiece. But the truth is, and just in having an honest chat, was that I didn't mind actually kind of being bald or having a shaved head. I kind of thought that I sort of suited that. So I kind of was looking for like an in-the-middle approach, sort of have hair but still keep the look of sort of having short hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it a really big decision? Because there's a lot of fear involved in making a change to your aesthetic. So how long did it take you to actually say, yes, now is the time to actually make the change?
Oh, about 5 months.
Yeah.
It took a while because what happens is, first of all, I didn't know that the treatment existed. And then when you told me about the information, it's a bit to take in. Because when you hear tattoo, you think, oh, it's permanent, what am I going to do, and what if I don't like it? But then what happens, and I suggest you don't do this, is you go away and then you Google. You Google, so for 5 months I just went on Google and you read the horror stories and some of the success stories, and then you look at people that you think didn't have it done right, and what if that's me, and you just get lost in that. And that kind of delayed me, and I kind of regret that a bit. I wish I'd done it sooner because it was so good. So I would ask people not to do that, just to come in and talk to you and get the information direct.
Yeah. There's a lot of information online, there's a lot of misinformation, and there's a lot of people who aren't experts giving information.
Yes.
So we really recommend a phone consultation, or if what's even better is an in-person consultation.
Yes.
And that's where we work out exactly where the hairline is, and we always specialise in the natural hairline. We work out what the density is, and most importantly, we'll work with the client to say, what expectation do you have? Do you want light density? Do you want to build towards a darker density?
Yes.
So for you, for instance, we went for a very natural light density. And I actually think 12 months on, we should really come back and revisit it and increase the density, because I think you feel very strong with it and you feel wonderful with it, and I think we can take it up that next level.
Yeah, it's kind of, for me, regardless of what people might kind of think, I'm quite a conservative person, and I sort of found that approach was very good for me, and I look forward to sort of seeing what it will be like, just that little bit kind of darker. Essentially, when I came in, you could have easily have sold me a hairpiece. I just would have gone, take my money. But you sort of instead prescribed what you thought would be best for me, and I appreciated that. And also, when I went away for those months, you weren't hassling me, and I had time to have a think about it and do that research before I came back, and I appreciated that. Yeah.
I think there's a real stigma with the hair loss industry in that there's a lot of hard sales and pressure. One of our sayings here is that it takes a long time for your hair to fall out, so it should really take a long time for you to make the decision to find some kind of hair replacement. And ultimately, it is a marathon, it's not a sprint. We really want people to do their homework, but most importantly, it's about make the phone call or come in and have a consultation, and we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of all the different hair loss solutions. I think that it's great for some people. With a hairpiece, you really stand out. With SMP, you really fit in. And that's what we like, is to say, and I say it to people, do you want to stand out or do you want to fit in? And some people say, I've never been able to get that amazing hair. I want the best hair. And with the Replique hairpiece, it really is the best hair in the room. And people have to prepare for that. So to go from thinning hair to incredible hair, it's a big transition, and we always want to make sure that they're making the right decision. I think a hairpiece would have been a lot of fun for you.
Would have been fun. And I think it might have been okay if I kept the hair that because I had hair, but I had just shaved it off for so long that people, and including myself, had got used to me being kind of bald. That would have been then the extreme, whereas then just kind of shading it, people didn't really notice.
Yeah.
Which I was happy about and annoyed about.
So with SMP, we normally have at least 3 sessions. So we have 2 full days, and then a third day, which is the finishing touch. And I remember saying to you, after everyone's nervous for the first day, they're worried about the pain and they're worried about how it's going to look. And so I think the pain for you was...
Pain's fine.
Yep.
I put off a blood test for 3 years.
Yes.
This is nothing. It's fine.
Then what often happens is people will go back to their workplace after session 1 and they're so nervous and they're thinking everyone's going to be looking at me. And so what was your response after session 1?
I have to say, and it's kind of, it's funny, and I was surprised how many people don't care about my hand.
Yeah.
I thought people were as concerned about my scalp as I was. No one really cared. Like, I said it, I'm being funny. Like, I just thought everyone's looking and everyone's going to... No. I will say after the first session, people kind of know that you're going about something. And so, you sort of, you judge that conversation. But then after that, no one notices. Yeah.
One of the beautiful things about scalp micropigmentation as well is that it's very gradual.
Yeah.
And we can do
definitely.
it at your pace.
Yes.
So with you, we did it gradually over 3 weeks.
Yes.
1 session every Saturday. So it just seemed like it was growing back and you're really building the density. And it does, it's nice doing it like that because it gives you the time to get used to it.
Yeah, and which is funny because when you don't have hair and then you gradually get it back, it was funny, I was struggling to deal with looking at having hair. Which I thought, but when I think about it, I really did struggle with not having hair, and then I had to kind of get used to having what looked like hair back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was interesting. Yeah.
I suppose that it's such a transition where we get used to looking in the mirror and seeing ourselves either with thinning hair or completely thinned hair, and then it is quite a difficult thing to imagine having new hair back again. Did it take you a couple of weeks or how long? What was that process like?
Yeah, so you walk out of here and I thought I look amazing. And then you go home and then for the next few days it's you're like, oh, I don't know if this looks any good. And I think I actually texted you. I think I was taking photos going, does it match? And you start getting, because I don't know, it's hard to get used to. And then that passes, and then you just love it, and you get really comfortable with it, and then you get to that stage where I can't imagine. I hope this doesn't go away. I don't want to lose it.
You're in a demographic of men that have a lot of guilt about vanity.
Interesting.
So we at Replique, we have the younger guys who've grown up with Instagram and Tumblr. They've grown up with the Kardashians who just created an industry of beauty. And then they're generally under 25. Then we get the guys 25 through to the early 40s, and they can be paralysed with fear. They're not happy with their appearance, but they're paralysed with fear about doing something about it because they think they'll be vain.
Yeah.
They think that people are going to make fun of them, or they think that they're being self-indulgent. And then we've got the guys who are their mid-40s and up, who they come here and we talk about it, and I say, I'm doing this treatment for myself, and I'm doing it for my partner because I want to feel good, and that's beautiful. So there's definitely that feeling.
To put that into words for me, because I felt like that. You get past that because you develop some self-love. But yeah, I did. I felt kind of like I was not worthy to look good. So isn't that interesting?
Yeah. What would you say to men who've looked at different hair loss solutions, but they're really nervous about taking the step of actually picking up the phone to have a conversation about it?
And I am that person. I had the appointment with all of those other sort of companies where you take the pills, you do the lasers, and I'm not making fun of that because at that time was the science and the treatment at that time. I've done all that. I would say don't do what I do, and that's I get paralysed by fear or overwhelmed with a lot of information, I really would just call or come in. Because what I tend to do is I tend to Google, and then I tend to ask every person I've ever met in my life, what do they think? And that takes a long time. So I would just say, pick up the phone, have a chat, or come in and see if it is for you. Yeah.
Ultimately, at Replique, we only work with clients that I know we can make happy.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in here with unrealistic expectations, so some guys will want, with scalp micropigmentation, they'll want a completely inauthentic hairline, and I can't do it. Most good technicians won't do it. It's all about turning back time with it. So having scalp micropigmentation, did that change how you felt when you were posting images on social media?
Yeah, to an extent. I look back now at photos where I either had hair and then was losing hair, or I had my head shaved, but it was clear that it was shaved because I was losing hair. I don't want to look back and then go, ooh, yuck, because that's me. I don't want to put that down, but it's hard to explain. But when you're young and you're losing hair, you associate that with being older, or with being kind of deficient, or with it's quite funny as you're going through puberty and you're growing and you're becoming an adult, that you're then losing bits of yourself. It really is. It kind of does a lot to you psychologically, and I always felt kind of quite old when I was young, because in my family, a lot of the people that didn't have hair were our elderly relatives, and I don't know, I think it really kind of affected my maybe persona and personality and psyche a little bit. And I've noticed it since, I call it shading, but that I think I've got a little cheekier. And just little things. I know when I would chat with people, I didn't realise I was doing it, but I'd always kind of just have my head kind of back a little bit. I don't know, you just do these little things to kind of protect yourself from judgment. And I find myself just a lot more sort of free. And I do feel younger, or at least I feel like I'm acting a little younger.
I suppose it gives you back a level of control as well. So we have a lot of bodybuilders or guys here who control everything. They control their nutrition, they're covered in tattoos, they've got luminous white teeth, and really the only thing they haven't been able to control is their hair loss. So it's very liberating for them to be able to control that, whether it is a hairpiece or scalp micropigmentation. They've sort of said it doesn't matter if it continues to thin out because I've replaced what's gone, which is really nice.
I get that.
Scalp micropigmentation really is the replication of stubble on the scalp. And so a lot of our clients will clip up a few times a week. What's your maintenance regime?
Look, I probably don't have to do it every day, just being the perfectionist that I am. Each night, actually, so I have a little kind of routine. Each night, I'll just give it just a slight clipper, just because I really just want to make sure. And also, I'm the sort of person that my stubble grows really quick, and the existing hair that I have, it grows really quickly too. I think maybe other people could probably do it every other day. But I do it each night. But and it's so funny because when I go to do it, I have it. I'm like, I don't know which is mine and which is so I just clip through it all, because I used to try and just clip her, and now I don't know where it begins and ends. So
that's the joy of good scalp micropigmentation, is you generally can't tell what follicle you've created and what follicle we've created.
I have to feel.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. When you were getting scalp micropigmentation done, what was the sensation like? A lot of people are really worried about pain.
Yeah, I watched some documentary. I think I drifted off. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of different things that I thought it's kind of like a oh, I don't know how to describe it.
But it's not painful. It's
It's not
like
painful. No, it's not painful. In fact, I found it quite relaxing. There's no. I know when you think of tattoo, you think of pain. There's no pain.
Yeah.